I'm going to show you how to create this hexagonal bolt M48 by 5. Okay, M is a metric, represent the metric unit, and 48 is the major diameter, and 5 is the pitch, and 48 by 5. I'm going to create this step by step. So I hope this will help, okay? And I'm going to show you how to create this threaded shaft here using helical sweep. And then we're going to use the uh, palette to create the hexagon head. And then I'm going to show you how to create this chamfer here, okay? All right, so put your seat belt on. We're going to work on this, okay? All right, so I'm going to go to new and say bolt, okay? B-O-L-T, or let me just have the capital letters, okay? Bolt. All right, so, and then we go here. And we're going to turn on the all the planes, and we are ready to use extrude for time being. So we say extrude, and then we click on the top datum plane, and we go to a sketch view, turn off the plane for clarity. I'm gonna drop a point on this origin there, and then I'm gonna go to palette. I'm gonna click on the palette, and I will just double click on six-sided hexagon and then position it there. And you are familiar with this, okay? All right, so, and then we click on check. You don't need to do anything, just click on check. Uh, so the next step is to coincide the center of this hexagon with this origin of where the X and Y axes are. Okay, so we're gonna go to constraint called coincident. Click on the center here and click on the center. So to ensure that this will be exactly the dead center of this XY, or the origin XY axis, or the origin of this. Next, we're going to give the dimension for the hexagon uh, head, that the head of the bolt. Okay, and it has a diameter of say this is 30. Okay, so we're going to give the diameter of 75. I'm sorry, so I'm looking at the bottom view that shows 75. So I'm going to click on this corner and this corner, and I'm going to give a 75. So we're going to get rid of this, remove the uh, temporary dimension provided, and delete that and change that to 75. Okay, great. So now that we have that, the height of this hexagon, we can go to, we're going to check, and we're going to give the thickness of 30. Okay, 30. And there we go. And then we'll click on this arrow to go down. All right, so, and then we go check. Now this is the bottom here. Okay, and we're going to extrude, click on the surface, the bottom surface, and we're going to create a circle, and that circle has a diameter of 48. Okay, 48. Then we can just extrude that. The amount of extrude should be 470 minus 30, so it will be 440 from this base. From the top would be 470. Okay, so we're gonna just give the diameter of the length, I'm sorry, 470, and you can see this the bolt, shaft for the bolt. So the cylindrical portion is 400. Oops, sorry, it should be 470. It should be 440 because I said the 440 because minus the 30, so it's a 440 because this thickness is 30. 30 plus 440, that gives you the total of 470. Okay, so I'm happy with that. We can check, And next, we can just create a chamfer on here, okay? I'm going to show you how to create a chamfer, not camphor, okay? It's a chamfer. So we're going to go chamfer, and it's a D by D because that's 1 by 45 degree. And as soon as you see 45 degree, that means on a right triangle, you have a 1 by 1 triangle, okay? 1 by 1. D by D, I just gave 1. So then I'm going to click on this surface, the bottom surface, Control, Alt, click on the uh, top surface, or let me see if, yeah, if that is, we created the, okay, let me go back, okay, let me go back. I'm going to click on the bottom surface, then Control, click on the surface. It's going to give us the chamfer, okay, see that that's a chamfer. And then we say we are happy. So, if you look at it from the let me just give the front view here. Okay, that's a front view. If I convert that to, okay, you can see that this is 1 by 1, and that's a hypotenuse of a right triangle, which is 45-degree angle or 45-degree chamfer. Okay, great. So everything is good to go. Next, I'm going to show you how to cut these corners, okay, corner. The prerequisite for that is the plane, okay? You need to have the front, the plane display, okay? You have to display the plane, especially the front datum plane that goes through the center. So I'm going to click on um, revolve, okay? Revolve, right? Revolve feature. And I'm going to click on the front datum plane and then go sketch view, turn off the plane for clarity, turn off the shade for clarity. Okay, all right, great. Uh, don't forget for revolve to use the axis of revolution, this center line versus this center line. Okay, that center line is called the geometry, the two create a 2-point geometry center lines, or I call it axis of revolution. Okay, for revolving around the um, circumference or circular revolve, which is 360 degrees, or we call it a one revolution. Okay, so I'm going to just take that center line, position it on the axis, the center axis or y-axis. All right, so that's a prerequisite. Then I'm going to create a chamfer. Click on this line and this line, so I have a chamfer, and that chamfer should be 30-degree angle. So I'm going to give an angle between this line and this line, and we position it with the middle mouse button. We say 30. Okay, that looks good. Okay, next I'm going to complete the loop. So I'm going to go from here to there. So that's what we have. Okay. Um, do not worry about this measurement here. No need to worry because we wanted to just cut this corner and 4 corners. All right. So next, I will just turn the shade back on, and you can see that I have that corner, and I have an axis of revolution. See that if you um, hover over the axis, it says this is the axis of revolution. Okay, then I'm gonna go check. So when we check, we have to go to remove materials. So when you go to remove materials, the arrow is pointed upward. If I reverse the arrow, it's gonna cut through it. Okay, see that? We don't want that. We don't want that. We want this. Okay, so there we go. That's what we are looking for. And I believe that where the shaft is attached to the hexagon, to enforce, to have a, to reinforce the strength of this material so that it doesn't snap, or upon impact, it will not really fail on this edge here. I'm going to give a round, okay? I'm going to put a fillet radius around on this corner there, okay, there, okay. So with a one unit or 1 inch is good enough, okay? So I'm just giving additional information so that it makes this stronger. All right, so let me go back to the front view. That's a front view. All right, so now just watch very carefully. I'm going to create a threaded shaft, called, how should I say? This is a V-shape American National thread, 60-degree angle, and then I'm going to use the information provided, but I'm going to modify it a little bit because I wanted to have the pitch a little bit smaller than 5, because there is a range, between certain nominal size of the shaft to, from um, 40 to 50, for example. They say 5 is a pitch. I'm going to just use half of the pitch, which is 2.5, okay? Half of the pitch. So let's do this. I'm going to go to sweep. Uh, um, Let me just have um, the plane back on, okay? The plane. So I'm going to go to helical, helical sweep, and then I'm gonna use, don't forget, I'm gonna use this sketch on the far right, okay? All right, so let me just go here, sketch, sketch, I'm gonna use front, date on plane, right, no problem. Turn off the plane for clarity. All right, so, and then I'm going to use the axis of revolution also, okay? Don't forget that. Next, I'm going to use project line temporary and then remove it, okay? I'm going to put it on this edge here. All right, so, and then I'm going to delete it, okay? Just to remind this, software that I'm going to put the line in here, and that line, I'm going to give a length of 121 units, but I will start the line in below that, okay, because we wanted to cut through it. Otherwise there was a chunk of this thread is going to stick out. So I'm going to go a tiny bit, an arbitrary distance below the chamfer. So, and then I'm going to go to here. All right, so when I do that, okay, it's going to, I'm going to give the dimension, actual dimension from this point and to uh, somewhere here. That should be one vertical midpoint point on the entity, 219. Let's see if I can just say undo point on the entity midpoint. Maybe we delete the midpoint. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go to 121. 121 from there to there, and this is, maybe I'm gonna make this say about 125, a little bit more, 130, okay, 130. All right, great. So this is what we have in here, and this is there is one thing that, let me just go to check. I'm gonna click on check, and then I'm gonna click on this resume, and then you see the direction here, the arrow is pointed upward. I'm going to change the pitch to say 2.5. Okay, and 2.5, and then I will say I'm going to click on a sketch. Okay, this is sketch, and I will be creating the profile. Okay, let me see if I can. Maybe I'm going to just start from somewhere here, and I'm going to go from here to there, and this dimension here should be half of the 2.5, 1.25, 1.25, and make sure you give this angle 60 degrees, and I'm going to make these two lines equal to each other. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, that's all we need for time being. Everything, it seems like, is is working out. Okay, so I started, and instead of starting on here, I started there. It's gonna cut through it because we want to cut it. Okay, we want to cut the so that we can create a threaded shaft. So when that is done, okay, half of the pitch from the center here to here is 1.25, 60-degree angle, and the two lines for the V-shape national threads is that. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go to check here, and then I'm gonna click on remove materials. You can see that there we go. We got the threaded shaft. Okay, and then we say okay. We are happy, and now we can easily do something called if you want to color it, is all up to you. You can just go to view and then appearance. um, I will just pick that to be all right. So and then I can have this here, control, all the control down, and then we can uh, click on multiple surfaces, and then we say yes. Okay, and this is a, maybe I'm going to just put red in here. That is a, we're going to use maybe this color here, control, and that is there. Okay, so that is our final product. Okay, so and that is our for the project. You can use this as a one of the part called bolt. Okay, all right. So I hope this was clear, and just I will be uploading it to YouTube, and I hope you enjoy this. And because the book doesn't explain how to create a threaded shaft, and also I'm going to show you how to create a threaded hole or for the nut or self-locking nut. Okay, all right. So I'm going to stop right here, and uh, you can watch this on YouTube.